Yo guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to go through IRL to ERL and how we can use the higher time frame bias to help us find lower time frame entries. So let's get into it. Just beforehand, this isn't a trade that I did take, however I found this when I was backtesting through last week. I just thought it was a great example to show you, and it just shows how easily you can use the higher time frame narrative. So on the daily time frame, I have marked out our daily imbalance, so that will be our internal range liquidity, and then I will mark out our sell side liquidity, which is our external range liquidity. Now that we have marked out our daily fair value gap and our external range liquidity, we want to see price draw back into the imbalance before moving lower. Now that we have our higher time frame narrative, we can drop down to the 1 hour time frame to look for more confirmation. So at the minute, all I'm looking for is some sort of displacement to the downside to give me more confirmation that price is going to be bearish. So coming into the New York kill zone, I can see that we had a clear liquidity sweep before price displaces lower. We had quite a strong displacement down. I've dropped down to the 15-minute time frame to look for my entries, as we are also in the New York kill zone. As we can see, we've had a strong displacement lower, also leaving a fair value gap during the kill zone. Seeing this, I would drop down to the 1 minute time frame to look for a unicorn entry, which is a breaker with a fair value gap. If you do want me to make a video on this, leave a comment and I'll make one separately. On the 1 minute time frame, I can see that we've had a displacement lower with a breaker block and fair value gap aligned. The green box is the breaker block and the fair value gap does get marked out in a second. Seeing this, with our higher time frame confirmation, I'll be looking for an entry when price returns to the breaker block. Seeing that price has returned to the breaker block, I would set my limit order or market execute with my stops just above the buy side liquidity, and then I would be targeting the external liquidity just below. So you could target the daily ERL, however in my case I would be targeting this low just on the left hand side, securing a roughly 3 to 4R. Before we see if the trade plays out, let's just go over the context from the higher time frame to the lower time frame. So overall, we had the daily IRL to ERL, so the daily imbalance targeting the daily sell stops. Dropping down to the 1 hour, we obviously had the 1 hour displacement followed by a 15-minute fair value gap during the New York kill zone. Once we had the 15-minute imbalance, this is obviously where we had looked for our 1 minute entry, so the entry that we see on screen now, which is the unicorn model, so a breaker with a fair value gap overlapping. So as we can see, the trade played out and it was for a roughly 4.5R. So here we can see our trade on the 15-minute time frame. Although we did have a 1 minute entry, there is a multiple setups on the 15-minute time frame during this day, so we're going to go over a few of them now. So using the same imbalance we used for the one to find our 1 minute entry, we could have set our limit order just on the 15-minute fair value gap, targeting the ERL with stops just above. In this case, the RR of the trade wouldn't have been as high. However, as it is higher time frame, we have more room for error and we can place our stops a little bit higher. So as we can see, price has then formed another imbalance, which you could have also used for a second entry. So let's see how the trade would have played out. So as we can see, both trades hit full TP, and this is just how I would go through my charts and analyze them afterwards. So as we can see, we have entry number 1, which was the 1 minute unicorn during the first 15-minute fair value gap. Then we also have our second entry, which was from the 15-minute fair value gap, followed by our third entry of the second 15-minute fair value gap. If you found this video useful, drop a like and comment, and if anyone has any tips on how I could improve the quality of my videos or maybe the sound, drop a comment or DM me on Instagram. My link will be in the description. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.